Welcome, everybody, to the Heart of a Villain. Happy Friday night. It is March something. I've lost track, March 12th. Welcome to the Heart of a Villain. This is the podcast and live stream devoted to the bearded villains, worldwide brotherhood, and the lives they are changing all over the world. Guys, happy Friday night. As I said, we are live on YouTube. And right now, also, for anybody that's live on YouTube checking this out, other people might notice that we are live streaming on the old IG as well on the phone. I won't be here for long, people on IG, because you can't hear anything that's coming through the sound system because IG won't let you hook it up that way. So I do apologize for that. Those of you watching on YouTube, I'm looking down at my phone when I look down there. So thanks for everybody who is here on this Friday night. Special thanks to everybody here live on one of the two platforms. Mostly the people tuning in that will be able to get full value of the show on YouTube. For those of you who are down here on IG, I will just say you can go over to YouTube right now, watch the whole episode. It is at youtube.com/C, the letter C, that would be this way, /, that's a second /. So youtube.com/C / the Heart of a Villain. You should be able to find us, and that's where we're going to be for the rest of the time. Got a really good episode tonight, guys. Have a really fun conversation. I could have gone on for days with this, with Radar. Some people know him as Bert. Some people know him as Caps for Days. Some people know him as, a wide variety of other names. But we're going to have a nice discussion with Radar here coming up in just a few minutes. So I'm going to take this second. I'm going to say see you to everybody that is here live on IG. Once again, I'll tell you, youtube.com/C / the Heart of a Villain. You can chime in and watch the rest of this episode. Okay, everybody. Guys, those of you who are here sticking with us here live, I love it. Thanks so much. I wanted to try that and see what would happen. And see what would happen if I did that. So those of you who are here, I want to say thanks to everybody that is live. As I normally do, I'm going to give a big greet out, give a shout out to everybody who's here. Rob is always here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to Rob. It is, oh crap, it's early over there, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning over in the UK. Always appreciate you being here, Rob. Ty, Mr. TY, what is up? What is up, buddy? Gator's in the house tonight, staying around for a little bit of time before he has to go to Betty Bye. Gator has an OT assignment tomorrow, so he has to be up at, oh crap, it's early, 4:30 in the morning. So do appreciate you, Gator, for hanging out for as long as you're able to. Derek's in the house. How you doing, Mr. Joker Smiles? How we doing? Tim is here. Love to see all this interaction. Jay is here, and we know where Jay is. We can count on Sharissa being here somewhere in the background, somewhere chilling out. Hillbilly's also here. How you doing, buddy? Good to see it. Threeper is in the house tonight. We love to see that as well. Man, guys, I'm excited. to share this conversation I've got coming up with Radar. Those of you who know Radar, Fernando's in the house as well. Great. Cheers from Argentina. Awesome to hear. So, what a day, guys. Had some fun getting a lot of things done this week. The weather was a little bit nicer. And this week, the weather started, burning off some of that snow that was around. And I don't know if anybody is dealing in the Midwest or, well, anywhere there was actual snow, not just a little bit of frost, actual snow. Knows what that's like. And it's kind of funny with the way my house is positioned, I guess, on the equatorial platform. Or whatever you call it. It's kind of funny because this time of year, as those of you who know, who paid attention back when it was explained to us all in elementary school, I think, the way that the sun rises and falls, and that during the winter months, the sun is not so high in the sky, it rises and falls lower in the sky. Well, my house is positioned so that the front door faces north. And unfortunately, what that means is, when the sun rises and falls, it mostly rises and falls behind my house. Not a big deal. Until it's snowy time. So when it's snowy time, and snow builds up here in the area that I live, where it's lake effect area, So I live within a 10-mile radius where everybody else gets 4 or 5 inches of snow. We get 15. So it builds up. So the funny situation that happens is when everybody else's snow starts melting around me, the snow melts about halfway up my driveway and about halfway up my yard and all throughout the backyard. But all the first half of the yard up against the house, the driveway, everything, it stays around for weeks longer than the other because the sunlight never gets over over the house to see it. And so I'm just happy that it's finally warm enough, actual temperature, so that I don't have to depend on the sun to melt the snow for us now. So it's been warm enough now. We finally have no snow in my yard. It's been a process, but I'm excited about the little things. Isn't it funny how those little things just make your day? And even though the grass looks all brown and crappy right now and there's sand mixed in with it from all the street crap, and I don't care. I don't care. Bugs are starting to fly a little bit. Birds are chirping. Speaking about birds chirping, I will say this now because I'll probably forget to mention it later. Special thanks to our guest that we're going to be talking to a little later, Radar, because Radar did me a favor. Well, unknowingly, he did me a favor because in his attempt to make it a nice, peaceful situation for him to do his interview with, he decided it would be smart to go outside, enjoy some of the weather. So he did his interview from outside. And and this is what it sounded like to me as we were talking. Not quite, but it sounded like he was in a bird sanctuary. It was beautiful, very relaxing the entire time we were talking. And so I was very excited about that. Little things. See what I'm talking about? Those little things. But I had a lot of fun talking to Radar, and he was outside, the birds chirping around. Rather than sometimes these interviews you've noticed in the past, there's some sort of chaos going on behind somebody, or I don't know. One interview I had early on sounded like a train was rumbling through his backyard. But I digress. Thank you guys so much for being here. I know it seems like I'm rambling on. All sorts of bunch of thoughts coming in through my head. The funny thing is, I'm going to blame somebody for getting me a little bit nice and relaxed for tonight. Earlier on IG, Mr. Steiner had a little Instagram live that I joined, and Popeye was there, and a couple other people mixed in with during the time, Looney Tunes and different things. But during that time, I was just having a sip here, having a sip there of a little bourbon, and just kind of loosens you up for the old podcast tonight. So if I'm rambling a little more than normal, which maybe I'm not, I don't know. If I'm rambling a little more than normal, that's probably why. So I apologize, but not so much because I'm in a good frame of mind. This is fun. I love this stuff. Guys. So let's, what can we do? Let's do a little bit of kicking things off. I want to share a couple things, merchandise related. As I've talked to you about guys before, one of the things I've really kind of strived to do over the last 6 months, really, especially when other chapters come out with merch that they're trying to raise money for some specific task, I want to share it with you, the viewer, the listener. I want you to be able to chill out, see what's out there, because sometimes, as you know, in the world of IG, you start scrolling and you're going to miss something. Something doesn't pop into your feed, and you never learn about something until it's sold out. I want to help. I want to help prevent that from happening for you all. So I am here to be your savior of merch tonight. Now, I will say there's going to be stuff that even I miss. I'm dependent upon people to pass on information to me. So we're going to kick this off real quick with Bada Boom. Bearded Villains, North Mississippi. They have, now check this, guys. This is time sensitive, limited edition. It says there, limited edition, the Loud Sound of Silk patch for Kraken. Mr. Kraken. It's a guitar patch, as most of them are from North Mississippi. We love that, all the different variations. It's the loud sound of silk. The proceeds are going to Mr. Kraken. $12. Now, they only made so many of these. It's not a pre-sale. Only made so many, and here's the deal. As of about 2 hours ago, there were less than 20 of these still available. Less than 20. My guess is, at the time I'm speaking to you now, there's probably somewhere between 10 and 15. So, get out there. It's at bvnorthms.com. bvnorthms.com. Get your loud sound of silk Kraken guitar patch. I'd love to see these things sell out by tonight. And maybe our viewership a little bit helped push that a little bit, get that over the hump so we can get that thing sold. But loud sound of Kraken, the loud sound of silk Kraken patch. bvnorthms.com. Now, as most of you know, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit in just a few minutes, we have in our calendar of events, DSV5 is in full go for this year. And our bearded brothers down there have prepared, in conjunction, I guess, with Jeremiah at Flesh and Blood Print Shop, all sorts of variations of T-shirts. So if you are in the T-shirt game, friends, you definitely want to check this out. Now, I was amazed. Look at all the, now normally you get like one choice, right? Normally you get one choice for a variation on a shirt for a specific event. Well, I think they said, the hell with that. We're going to do something different. Now, DSV5 merch, here it is. The DSV5 Back to the Juke Joint. That is their logo for the event. They have all of these things I'm going to be telling about. All these shirts are only $20. So we have a Raglan Heather Gray Black. These are all pre-orders now. Pre-orders will end March 31st. Keep that in mind. March 31st, I'll be reminding you. They have a Heather Gray Raglan. They have a white, vintage white with mellow yellow pre-order for a Raglan. If you like the Raglans, 2 options here. Very cool stuff. And then look at the T-shirt varieties. Wow. All right, guys, here we go. We've got a standard white T-shirt, charcoal or purple pre-order. I don't even have all of them in here. There's a charcoal variation of one of these T-shirts. There's a purple variation of one of these T-shirts, okay? There is a mellow yellow version of one of these T-shirts that is actually has the ribbing on the ringer. They call it the ringer shirt on the sleeve. They've got one of those too. They've got a heather blue purist shirt, and they've got a heather neo mint shirt. So the heck, what are you doing? These pre-orders end March 31st. All of the proceeds, I've been told, for this event are going to Battle 22, a veterans organization. Very cool stuff. I've talked about them. I've actually spoke with the founder, did an interview with him several episodes ago. So check those guys out as well. But man, get out there to bvnorthms.com tonight. You can get the purple patch that's going to go to benefit Kraken. You can get some of this merch that's going for DSV5. And hey, if you can't, this is key. Like I said, March 31st. But here's the deal. You can pick it up if you're going to be there at DSV5. They'll hold it for you. Pick it up there. And then all shipping is going to take place after DSV5. So choices, all sorts of choices out there. All sorts of choices. Okay. And then lastly, if you didn't get enough of me all the time, I have my BP shirts out there, but they're not up on the website yet. But if you're interested, hit me up. That's all I'll say about those. That's all I'm going to say about those. Okay. All right. So we got that out of the way. So far, I haven't had much of a need for this. No, not yet. We'll hope that that's not necessary. As we bumble along here, guys. Okay. All right. So viewership, love it. For those of you, I know that there are a handful of people here, probably here to see Radar. That's awesome. I love it. He's coming up in just a second. I'm going to be flipping off that interview. Flipping off. Okay, I deserve this one. Flipping off. Need this too. All right. Enough with the sound effects. So, but anyway, I'll be getting that interview going in just a second. Those of you who are first-time viewers here on the YouTube channel, remember, this is a podcast first and foremost, and we do the live stream every Friday night. The audio from this live stream here is edited down just slightly. We take out all the crap that we don't need, and we put it over to the regular podcast platforms. That is found at theheartofavillain.simplecast.com or any other major podcast platform. Download those things. There are 73 previous episodes of this podcast out there. There are, I want to say, I've spoken to members, brothers, representatives from chapters all over the world. I think I'm up to about, I don't know, somewhere in the teens, somewhere around 15 different countries, I think. Somewhere around 80 different chapters so far. Some of the episodes had multiple chapters in them. So you can learn so much about what's going on out there with our bearded brothers by checking out these podcast episodes. Some of the stuff I love gives you ideas, really helps you motivate, inspire, all that stuff. So you can listen to all those other previous podcast episodes, theheartofavillain.simplecast.com. All the good stuff is there. You can also get shirts, patches, pins, and all that stuff. But those of you who are here watching us live on the YouTube, do not forget that little button right there. Anyway, the little button, the little red subscribe thing. Make sure you click that because all the good videos and stuff, they're coming out down the road. So don't forget about that stuff. Okay, I have put it off long enough. I know what you guys are here for. This was fun for me. I've been waiting to interview Radar for a bit. I wanted to make sure the timing was right for him. Things are starting to slow down, I think, around the country as far as the pandemic goes. He has been crazy busy. Those of you who know him well know the schedule that this guy keeps. And you know how busy he is. You know what he's up to. He's constantly traveling around for BV things. But on top of that, he has a crazy busy schedule within the family, too. He inspires me daily as a father, as an active father for his kids, to see the things that he does, the things that he posts. Just an all-around great dude. So this is my interview with Radar. We're talking about all sorts of good stuff. I don't know what else to say about it. Pay attention to how relaxing it is where he's at. It's like he's in a bird sanctuary, like I told you. So without further ado, guys, here is my interview with Radar. My guest today comes all the way from Philly. You guys out there know him by a bunch of different names. Well, probably one in particular. Some call him Bert, some call him Radar, some call him by his IG name Caps for days. But man, we all just know him as one hell of a dude. Radar, welcome to the Heart of a Villain. How you doing, bud?
Thank you. Blessed to be here. Honored. This is dope. I mean, yeah, the many names, it is true. I hear everybody calling me every single possible name. It's ridiculous. Mostly Caps, mostly Radar, but
yeah,
it is what it is. I answer to all of
them. Dude, whoa, yeah. Well, I wanted to get you on because
right. Hey, man.
I wanted to get you on here because you're one hell of a fascinating dude. You've got a great background story. You're busy with the family life and home. And you're constantly busy with BV too. I don't know how you do it. So let's just start.
Yeah, it's
let's just start with your journey, how it started, how you found BV, and where it took you from there.
All right. Well, so I originally followed BV. I mean, because it's been around for a while, but I was still in the Army. I was still in the Guard for PA. And I followed them. I was like, man, this is dope. Bunch of bearded dudes, tattooed and all, making a change. At the time I was still running for every damn possible cause and charity, colon cancer, breast cancer, organ tissue donor, suicide awareness. I run for autos. Got like a stack of race bids auto. And I was already on my way out from the military. So it was just like, this was pretty cool. They actually reached out to me And I was like, hell yeah, I'd love to be a part of this. If I'm already doing this on a small scale, why not do it on a bigger scale? Help change the stereotype and all. I think I came in about 2 years, a little over 2 years ago. About the same time frame right now, actually, sometime around March, I think is when I first came in as a hopeful, and it has been a hell of a ride.
Yeah.
I mean, for people especially who have followed me from the beginning, especially like chapter members and whatnot, people who know my whole that just the first year alone of my journey has been a ride.
Well, go.
That's why I
Can you
say I
go
don't
into?
even know where to start.
Yeah, go into a little bit of detail if you can. I mean, guys that, because like I said, it has been a ride for you. So
Oh
where
yeah,
where
yeah,
where,
no
where
doubt.
exactly did you start out, as far as and how did you find them, and bringing you to today?
Yeah, so
Because you used
so
to be, you were an officer for a bit.
yeah, yeah. So I came in as a hopeful for Pennsylvania before the split, clearly, because that just happened.
Mhm.
Love those guys, by the way. Still talk to them. I came in for PA. Was in there for, man, I think it was almost a year or so, and then the Philly chapter opened up. So we started the Philly chapter. At the time, I was their co-cap. When the chapter started, it was only 5 of us at the time. A few hopefuls. Um, you know, Shit happens. Let's leave that at that. Granted, we're all good. It's all good. It was just, it's new.
Yeah.
Shit happens, and I don't mean anything bad, but
No, no.
so I stepped down in a way. I also had a lot of things going on here, home back then at the time, and I just felt like it was too much. Like I was bringing too much of that at home at the time, and I was still going through a bunch of stuff at home. Long story short, I stayed chapterless for maybe about 2 months, 2, 3 months, a few months, and then I went back to PA. They welcomed me with open arms. Again, they were the first ones that brought me through this and throughout. Ended up becoming their secretary. And then stayed with them up until just last September or October. Um, and that's when I had to deal with all this, at home,
Yeah.
the kids, the COVID hit, and being a secretary for a chapter, where you got to constantly jot things down. And I was missing things, and it was like, listen, I can't really commit to this right now. I have to step down. I have to take, I've become a full time teacher slash dad. During
Yeah.
COVID, I took a leave of absence from work. But I mean, through it all, it's never changed my perspective of this. The outlook and the overall picture of BV as a whole. I love it, man. I love it. I've made some great friends I consider family, people I've been dying to meet. You for one, finally got to meet you.
Yeah.
It's taken me overseas. Hell, I've been to Belarus twice. I never even been overseas for the military. My first time overseas was for BV.
Oh, geez, I didn't realize that.
You know what I'm saying? Like all my assignments have been stateside. Like, you hear 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year in the National Guard. I was always gone. It was like my last year of my enlistment when my son's like, Dad, this is the first time you've been home for my birthday. And I was like, good.
Oh, geez.
And that was 6 years. It took 6 years for me to be home for his actual birthday. Yeah.
Wow.
So and it was mostly because I was the only person at the time who held my MOS, my job, for my unit. So I constantly had to leave, come back and teach it, to my section. So it was a
Yeah.
pain though. It was a pain. And it was like, man, could you imagine if this was full time? And I co-parent, so it's like that was hard. I'm
Yeah.
already missing out so much. You know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I'm so,
so
I'm stoked. I'm stoked to hear, that the bounce back from one place to the other and going back to home. I love that story. But
oh yeah,
you mentioned your the military when you were in the Army, and your
yeah,
MOS being very specific. So
yeah.
can you talk for a second, because that's had a little bit of an effect now on your BV journey where it is now, because
Oh yeah, no doubt.
you have a very specific patch and flag and logo that you've adopted, that
Oh
talks about
yeah.
that. So can you talk for a second about that? Because everybody that sees you knows that's radar. That's radar, man.
Yeah. So my whole so I kind of coined it under the radar everybody. So my radar name actually did come from MASH, and it came from the Army. The character MASH MASH from radar from MASH. Sorry.
Yes.
Um, because that's kind of who I was. Like, yeah, I messed around, I had fun, but I was real committed to everything I did. You know, um, I handled what I could. I was trusted with so much. I mean, more than I should have been at the time, but it was because I was reliable, dependable, punctual, the whole nine. So my flag, for those who have seen it, and I'm sure everyone's seen it now, is my actual unit patch. I've had the keystone, the black keystone, has been on my arm for shit, damn near 8 years.
Yeah.
That was my actual unit patch. And then under the radar is just me wanting to do good, give back, not necessarily want the attention or crave or everybody's like, oh, you shouldn't videotape doing this, video the stuff that you do if it's charity. And I kind of get where they're coming from, but at the same time, you bring awareness to it. You might want to have more people do it if you show them what you're doing. It isn't that you're looking to brag about what you're recording. You're bringing awareness to it, and in order for it to be brought to awareness, someone needs to document it. So that's kind of what my whole under the radar thing is too. It kind of took a back seat because of the COVID and the kids, but I try to put it out there as much as I can, and I'm trying to do something with it, especially in a city like Philadelphia where they constantly need help here.
Yeah. I love under the
There's so
radar,
much you
man.
can do here.
I love that, under the radar. But you brought up a really good point, and it's something that I've talked about here on the podcast several times. And it seems like it's, 2 or 3 times at least. It seems like it's 2 or 3 times a month I'm talking to somebody about it, because I'm trying to encourage people, just like you say. We need to spread the word about what our brothers are doing, and get out there, take those
Yeah.
photos. You can still
Oh yeah.
be respectful, but find a
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
to take these videos, these photos, to let people know what the Bearded Villains are about. And
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can do that in a in a way that it's not like you're trying to brag about it, but
Yeah. Exactly.
it honestly gives other people and other chapters ideas.
Yeah.
Hey, they
Yeah.
look what they're doing over there. And okay, especially, and one of the things I think it's a great point to point out right now is that this time of year we're still under pandemic restrictions some places.
Oh yeah. I
And
mean, we're one of
yeah,
them.
and seeing
Yeah.
what some chapters are able to do even under restrictions. You may not think there's anything that you can do, but you realize, wait a minute, we could probably do what these guys are doing over here. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool, and it doesn't take much for us to do that. And you
Yeah.
take it from that scale, and then you could go all the way to something huge,
Hmm.
and just by sharing the videos and the photos of what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't necessarily have to ride someone's, coattail or piggyback off of someone's actual thing. There's many guys in BV who do their own thing. That's not a BV thing.
Yes.
But you have the community to share it. So then you help each other and you share it. And you can. I mean, we got guys who pack backpacks all year. And give them away for school, and that's not a BV thing. That's something he does on his own. We got a guy who works for autism. I mean, everybody knows that there's a cause that needs help everywhere. And it's like I say, like, you get people who look down on people for recording you giving, you helping back. And I think they take that the wrong way sometimes, because no one wants the recognition. We want to bring the awareness to people. It's like, hey, you can do this too. Hey, what part of your city needs help? Hey, what part of where you are, or it's not for bragging rights. And I hate when people say that, because it's not like, oh, this is me feeding someone, like something like that. I get it, because it also, sometimes the people are vulnerable to that too. Some people don't want to be recorded, so you also have to respect them.
Sure.
But as long as it's consistent, professional, respectful, I mean, like I said, if you don't document what you're doing, no one's going to know, and no one's going to want to do more with it. So.
Yeah, that's very well said. And to that end, I think anybody that's ever been to an event where you've been there, and where you've been there with your other half,
Hey.
I'm telling you what, I am. First of all, I don't know how you guys do it, because as busy as your schedules are with home life,
Yeah.
you guys still find a way to make it to so many different events
We
as a
do.
couple, and I love seeing
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Nikki, everybody, they know we're a package deal.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just, there are times where we're like, no, I can't go. You should go. No, you should go. I can't go. And then it's just like, well, let's see what we can move around, and we'll make it happen. But I love that she supports everything I support, and she was actually in this just as long as I was. Like, we met during this,
Oh
so
wow.
I didn't have to. drag her into it, or she didn't have to sell it to me. You know, she was going through her whole queen process as I was going through my whole villain and hopeful process. And we met, you know, the first time I ever saw her was at Richmond, East Coast, 2018, but I didn't know her. I just knew who she was. I saw her, you know, and then a year later, hey, it just it just happened. You know, I make the joke all the time. She slid in my DMs, which was true, you know, but but together, you know, what we've accomplished and what we've done, and you know, people think we've been together for so long now. We've probably been together maybe just a little over a year and a half, you
Yeah.
know,
I would
and
not have
we
believed that
love
for a
this.
second.
Yeah, we love this. I mean, that's my rock right there, man. Like she holds it down for me, I hold it down for her, and we make everything happen. And the good thing for me, you know, like I said earlier, is while I do co-parent, you know, my son's mother, like we have a great relationship. There's no bitterness, there's no anything. So we have a great relationship. We co-parent very well, you know. So if I have to be away, she'll take them. If she has to be away, I'll take them. We don't. There's no arrangement, you know. Like this isn't a weekend thing, or I have them almost all the time now. But
Yeah.
that's because of school. So
Yeah, I just want to say, you know, it's amazing and kudos to you for you and Nikki because it's crazy to see the heart and
yeah.
you know this show is the heart of a villain and
Oh yeah,
I
yeah, no
think
doubt.
I think um it's so cool when you can truly see two people like yourselves who go to these events and even though there's things to take care of at home,
Oh yeah, no doubt,
there's
no doubt.
that you guys seem to. I mean, I'll just say it. My wife would freaking kill me if I opened up my wallets like you guys do on a daily at these events. Man, it just kills me. I'm just like, did they just bought that for what? They just
Yeah,
you know, and it's like, and I know the reasoning, and I know it's just so awesome to see because in many cases, it may not be something that you're going to keep long term.
yeah,
You're
no, no
just going to
doubt.
pass it on somewhere else. But I mean,
Yeah.
just I don't know. I'm in awe.
I
I'm in
mean,
awe.
I think the good thing for us is that we plan accordingly. We also plan ahead of time. You know, a lot of these meets we have a year's notice. We have 9 months notice, 6 months notice. So we kind of time which ones we can physically make it to, and you know, we'll crank out as much work as we can to save up for these. Don't get me wrong, we're always saving, but we always put something away for these trips. So it isn't like we're just spending random money. You know, it's like this is what we're working with. And plus, like we have, you know, like we have like you know between a military discount, between you know point systems on cards and stuff. Sometimes we get you know rooms comped or we get discounts. So it's like it's a lot of planning. And we really don't spend as much as you think sometimes. Now, if it's for like auctions, you know, and stuff like that, yeah, we do, you know, because we know where it's going.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, hell, Evansville was one of her
Oh
biggest purchase. I mean, I saw her walking towards that patch and I'm like, yes, she got that. There's no telling her no.
yeah, that was one
Yeah,
specifically that I looked at and I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to happen. And
yeah, you know, and she looked back at me and I'm like, you got it. Yeah.
yeah, just
But we also do
amazing.
the same in auctions too. Like, you know, when we, you know, people are needing help in auctions and patterns are being sold, or just any kind of merch is being sold. You know, a lot of times we're like, just keep it or throw it back in the auction. Or me in particular, you know, I tend to like, if the number that the end total is a weird number, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, round it up to this nearest
you
hundred
do.
or whatever, you know, and that's just, it's just because we, you know, we give back. It's just what we do. We are, you know, Nikki has her own thing here in real life. We're like, I think it was like every Monday, every Friday, if she's like at a Starbucks or a Dunkin' Donuts drive-through, she'll purchase the person's coffee in front of her, you know, or
Yeah,
behind her. Sorry, you know.
yeah.
So
You know,
it's just what we do.
you hear stories about people doing that, and I laugh because that had never happened to me before, and
Yeah,
it's funny that you say that because just yesterday I was in line at a
yeah,
Dunkin', and all of a sudden I go up there, I'm ready to pay, and I think it was like, I mean, I was getting my kids some donuts and drinks and stuff, and I was probably
yeah,
10 or 12 bucks or something, and I rolled up, and she's like, I was taken care of by the person in front of you, and I was like, wow, so this is what this feels like.
yeah.
And
It
so,
happened. It happened. Yeah, and you
and
know, and we live for that. The random acts of kindness.
yeah,
It's a good feeling.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
you know, and I had to say, okay, this is my first interaction with this. How much is the person's order behind it? Oh, don't worry about it. I'll take care
yeah,
of it. And she's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's so nice. And I said, wait a minute, what about the person behind him? And
Yeah.
she's like, oh, it's about, $6, $7 or $8. And I said, take care of that one too. What the heck?
Just throw it on there. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And,
Exactly. And it feels good. It's
oh
rewarding. You
man.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and what was
Yeah.
funny was she actually got teary. The lady working the
Oh,
counter,
yeah.
she was teary eyed because of something
Yeah.
like that. And you can make, it's so fun to make people's day like that, man.
It
It's
is.
it's
It is.
awesome.
And you never know. You know, they might be having a shit day. And that free coffee might have just, made them think
Yeah.
better of people.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Well,
So
and you probably know, like I do, if you've ever worked a fast food or drive-through type of a thing, it seems like anybody that is 30-ish years or older at one
yeah.
time had to do that. And, those jobs sometimes are,
They're
they don't,
demanding.
they're demanding and they don't leave you with a very
Yeah.
fulfilling feeling. And
Oh
sometimes
yeah. No
working that
doubt.
drive-through, you come across some really short-tempered people. And
Yeah.
so
Oh yeah.
you make people's day, man. It's
Oh
awesome.
yeah. No doubt. I mean, any job where hospitality is needed, yeah, you're gonna deal with
Yeah.
you're off and on group of people.
Yeah. So that's definitely something I want to keep going to, and just because
Oh
that
yeah.
just feels so good. But
Hmm.
yeah, I did want to take a second out and say, and just recognize your efforts in the charity aspect, because it's, I think your approach to it is unique, and I
Yeah.
love it because, like you said, it's really cool to see that it's when you plan for these events to go to,
Yeah.
you don't just plan for the event and then you think ahead. Oh, there's probably going to be a silent auction here, or there's going to be an auction here, and
Yeah.
we need to prepare for that. And so we're going to roll X number of dollars in whatever we can do as
Oh
part
yeah.
of our weekend expenses. And I
Yeah.
think if all of us take that approach, if it's possible it's not possible for everybody. I understand that,
Yeah. No.
but
I get that too.
it's an organized thought process that you have,
Oh yeah.
whereas
Yeah.
whereas if you just show up, so many times it seems like I've shown up to these things, and I know there's probably going to be an auction or something like that. You go and then I look around and I'm like, crap, I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't prepare. I'd really like to have that. I really like to donate the
Yeah.
money, but yeah, if I would have saved up for it. So
Yeah.
I like
Exactly.
that you guys think way ahead, and
Oh yeah. Yeah.
that's
You have to. I mean, we
very
can't
cool.
just start throwing money that we might not be able to spend, recklessly. So, a lot of times we're on a budget. A lot of times, like if we know what we're there for, or if the cause is something near and dear, I think that's what gets us too.
Yeah,
Granted, a lot of things, a lot of the charities are, veteran based or veteran hosted, or which is of course clearly,
sure.
we're all for it.
Yeah,
But sometimes some of the causes and charities, they're a lot more, closer to our hearts than we anticipate sometimes. So we're just like, you know what, whatever, we'll make up for it when we get back home. Like this is going to a good cause for a good reason, and people need this. So
yeah.
you know, you know. But
Well,
we definitely plan ahead.
yeah. Well, it's awesome. It's awesome to see. Um, I want to talk for a second, if you can, about being a. Um, I want to talk for a second, if you can, about being a. Well, folks, just like anything, sometimes things happen, and there is technical difficulties here. Just getting into the great conversation there. I'm not quite sure why that is happening. So what I'm going to try and do is circumvent my. I'm going to try and circumvent my gobbledygook here and see if I can get this interview going full bore here, and see if I can bring it back in. in some way, shape, or form. If it will let me. I'm not quite sure why it was doing that. We're going to try this again and see. Maybe it is a problem. Oh, folks, I don't know what to tell you. I will say this. If for some reason I'm not able to get it fixed, the full interview will be available on podcast platform, and I will edit this thing down. The live stream it will not show on, but I will have it in the full podcast platform. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. I was hoping that I wasn't going to have any problems tonight. My computer did a little wiggy thing on me about 2 hours ago, and I lost some stuff that I normally had. Couldn't figure out why that happened. And no, it was not your folks' Wi-Fi, guys. I have no idea why it happened like it happened. So I'm going to be working here while I'm talking to you. I'll talk amongst yourselves a little bit. I'm going to be working behind the scenes and see if I can, I don't know, maybe this, heck, this thing might freeze up on me again. I don't know. I'm going to try to work around this here. We're working on the fly here. We are doing what we're doing. I'm going to try something here and see if I can work around this exact version of the live stream or of the video process here. And what I'm working on here, just so you know, I'm going through, this will excite some of you. I'm trying to go through the back door. Is what I'm actually trying to do here. I'm going to try and work through the back door of this system and see if I can get this thing to play, sing to you. No, not tonight. My voice is not in good shape. So I'm going to try something here. You should be able to be hearing my video. And I'm going to try this. I'm going to try and fast forward back to where we were. Okay, I'm going to try something here. I'm going to try something. Let's see. Okay, that's not going to work like I want it to. So that was the beginning of the interview again, guys. I'm trying. I want you guys to hear this because the end of the interview is very good. The last third of it. And I'm not exactly sure why this was going wonky on me. So I'm going to try. I'm going to try this. You guys are here with me. I appreciate it. This is what happens when oh crap hits in. I don't know what to tell y'all. So we're going to see if this will render itself really quickly on a slow computer and take it from there. I'm going to have some editing to do tonight, folks. Brian's going to have some editing to do. More than we normally do on a podcast night. Normally, I'm able to just pull out the audio from the podcast and from the live stream and go with it. But this is the struggle, guys. For some reason, and I don't know if it's going to interest any of you at all, for me to describe what's going on here. It might not interest any of you at all in the least, but my issue at hand is the rendering of the video apparently decided to take a dump on itself, I guess, of my interview. And so it only rendered the first portion of the interview, the first half that you saw. And then the part after that, it did not fully render it. And I'm not sure why, because this afternoon, when I played the video back for myself, it played through just fine. So I'm going to try something here. Stand by. Some call him by his IG name Caps for days. But, man, we all just know him as one hell of a dude. Radar, welcome to the Heart of a Villain. How you doing, bud?
Thank you. Blessed to be here. Honored. This is dope. I mean, yeah, the many names, it is true. I hear everybody calling me every single possible name. It's ridiculous. Mostly Caps, mostly Radar, but
yeah,
it is what it is. I answer to all of
them. Dude, whoa, yeah. Well, I wanted to get on because...
Yeah, right? Hey, man.
I wanted to get you on here because what our chapters, what our brothers, because just yesterday I was in line. I want to talk for a second, if you can.
Well, this isn't helping at all, guys. This doesn't look good at all, does it?
A stay-at-home dad that
I have
is
no
so
idea
involved,
what you guys are able to see.
Does the dad life, does the teaching and everything. Because,
all right,
you would probably, if somebody were to ask you a couple years ago, that's not where you saw things, was it?
Yeah,
Yes.
No, not at all.
Well, hey guys,
so it is bittersweet. I'm gonna put that out there first.
I'm gonna try.
Like I said, for those who don't know,
Here's
I
what I'm
had to
gonna do.
leave from work to be here because in a city like Philly, there's just so many people, so many kids. You know, right now the schools,
for
53 schools opened up this Monday, but neither one of them were my sons.
For what I'm trying to say. I am going to. Well, first thing I want to do is unshare my screen here, because that's not what I want. Okay, so we lost a bunch of people there on the live stream. I do apologize, guys. I wish I could explain to you in full what's the problem. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to try and re-render. I'm going to try and fix the rendering on the live stream or on the video. Then I'm going to, when it's ready, and that should take about 20 minutes, I'm going to play back on a unscheduled live stream here on YouTube. I'm going to play back the video from that. So it'll just suddenly pop up as a video of a interview with Radar. Then I'm going to be able to take that and I'll splice it into my podcast live stream that's currently here, take out all this crap that we've just messed with, and lead into what I'm going to lead into now. So I'll be able to take this interview, splice it right into the middle, like we weren't even here having this problem, other than everybody else will know that's here or that noticed this. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to roll right in, guys, to my normal agenda when something like this happens, as you know. I'm going to roll into the calendar of events. So, those of you, the calendar of events it is. This is what happens. We got to go on the fly. Sometimes when you're live, shit happens, right? I'm not sure why it is. I do know I need a new computer. So maybe that's the big problem. Maybe the computer has finally hit its limits and I need a new one. If anybody wants to donate, let me know. Okay, so May 21st and 22nd, DSV5. We just talked about it. DSV5 is hosted by our brothers South Mississippi. It's going to be in Ocean Springs, May 21st and 22nd. It's going to be an awesome weekend. Then June 11th and 12th is the West Coast Meet in Denver, Colorado. West Coast Meet in Denver, Colorado, June 11th and 12th. Then finally, also on June 12th, that same weekend, so you get your pick. You get to pick where you want to go. Either the West Coast Meet or, if you're in the Midwest, Knox Villains, if you're near Knoxville. Hosted by the Smoky Mountain Bearded Villains. Knox Villains is June 12th, the weekend of June 12th as well. Then September 2nd through the 6th is the Villain Cruise 5. Villain Cruise 5. That is hosted by our brothers in Finland and Sweden, and it starts off, I guess, in Barcelona, Spain. So the Villain Cruise 5, if you're over there or if you want to make your trip over there, if there's a way for you to do it. I have not heard that it's been canceled yet, but I don't know. Maybe it has been. I don't know. But I have not heard it, so until I hear it, I'm sticking with it. 2nd through the 6th of September. Then September 24th to the 26th is the East Coast Meet. The East Coast Meet, hosted by our Bearded Villains brothers in West Virginia. That's going to be in Parkersburg, West Virginia. Again, that's the East Coast Meet, September 24th to the 26th. Then September 10th through the 12th. September 10th to the 12th, our brothers in Phoenix, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah are going to be hosting us with the Four Corners Meet in Cortez, Colorado. Now, the Four Corners Meet, if you're unaware, is brothers only. No spouses, significant others, no friends, no whatever. You could probably bring your dog. I don't know if you're allowed to bring your dog. I don't know. Brothers only, anyway. Hosted by the Bearded Villains in Phoenix, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. That's the Four Corners Meet, September 10th through the 12th. And then finally, I added this week to the schedule because I heard about it. October 14th to the 18th is the Florida Summit. I have zero details on that, zero details on location or anything, but I think it's a kind of a placeholder in the calendar right now. October 14th to the 18th, Florida Summit, from what I hear so far. So mark your calendars if you want to try to go to that guy. And yeah, so that's that. All right, so we're going to fly into this guy. If you are looking for an all-natural beard oil that will not only tame your beard and coarse hairs, but make your beard soft and smell amazing, check out Pulpo Beard Oils. Veteran-owned and made for today's beards, Pulpo beard products combine the best beard ingredients on the market with incredible customer service to ensure your happiness. Whether you need beard wash, beard oil, beard balm, or some fun clothing, Pulpo is the place to go. Feel fresh, feel savage, feel confident with Pulpo Beard Oils. Go to Pulpo Beard Oils, that's Pulpo beardoils.com, and use the code The Heart of a Villain for a discount on your order. Okay, guys, so this has been a fun night, huh? This has been a fun night. Oh, man, Radar, I'm sorry, buddy. This was going to be an awesome live stream for you. This is a really good interview, and I was really looking forward to sharing all the good stuff that you had to say. So my next few minutes is this. I'm going to fix the interview part of it. I'm going to put it back, piece it back into here, and then I'm going to put it out on YouTube on the channel. So stick around sometime in the next 15, 20 minutes. I will post that video to YouTube, to my channel here. You'll be able to watch the whole video in its entirety. And then the video, the audio form, for those people that are going to be listening on the audio form, I'll be able to take all of this part out and splice in the good stuff. And the people that are listening in the audio form will have no idea that we had all these problems tonight. That's just for us, fam. That's just for those of us who are here live. So, and the people that are probably, maybe you watch this back on YouTube later. I don't know. Okay. So, guys, I hate to do it, but it's going to wrap up episode 74, and what an episode it has been so for now. But the rest of the interview will be out a little later tonight. All podcast platforms, it'll be out a little later tonight as well in its entirety, and you'll never know the difference. Guys, it's going to wrap up episode 74 of The Heart of a Villain. Remember, you can still buy the shirts, patches, pins, and all that good stuff at theheartofavillain.simplecast.com. And that's where you can get that fun stuff. Remember, guys, as I always challenge you, be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. Finally, guys, as I always say, please remember, it's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. So for now, guys, thank you for your patience. Thanks for being here on a Friday night. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the week ahead. Take care and stay safe.
Fresh to death is obvious. We get live with the script, high off loops and kick spit rhymes with the b-boy twitch, grabbing my junk and shit like it's 86. Shelly told 3 stripes we on. Hey, you know the B.I. It's BV worldwide fantasy. Stateside across ponds, no borders. I am my brothers, keep your facial features covered. Stay villain. One brotherhood, one ship. Stay bearded, stay villain.